What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
And more.
podcast, episode 66, Takeover Wednesdays. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Hope everybody had a good day, whether you had to go to work or you was off. We got a lot of things to speak on. We got a special guest, too. We're going to introduce her after we do the intro. So without further ado, let's get to it. And we are back. Cris Lamar podcast, episode 66, Takeover Wednesdays. Maul, what's going on, brother?
Oh man, not much. Feeling good. Excited about our guests we have. So excited for the show.
Yeah, and we have a special guest from No Plays Off Sports Talk, Miss Ballin D. She is doing her thing in the Las Vegas area. What's going on, Miss Ballin D?
What's going on? Good evening to you all. How you doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
Good, good.
Good.
Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. Well, let's get into these topics, man. Let's get it started. Well, before we do that, Miss Ballin D, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your podcast and how long you've been doing.
For sure. So I host a podcast weekly. It's called No Plays Out Sports Talk. Myself, Trinita, and Kev Bray. We've been doing a podcast now, maybe going on year 4. We've been doing a podcast. We go every Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, streaming on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube for now.
All right, cool.
Yep.
So y'all definitely check her out for sure.
Yes.
All right, now let's get into these topics. All right, which team would be the biggest disappointment if they don't win the NBA championship? The Celtics or the Clippers? Miss Ballin D, I'm gonna let you kick this off.
Oh man, that's a tough one, man. I like the Celtics only because I want to say, they have all the pieces right now to not or to certainly win it. But the Clippers, man, they have so much hype surrounding them. They have so many bullets on them as to why it's like it's championship or bust for you all. You overdue with where you all should be winning the championship right now. So I'm going to say it's the Clippers because of the expectations of what they put together with that team.
What about you, Mo?
This is definitely a tough question. I think both teams really have high expectations on winning the championship this year. The Celtics, they fell a couple times the last couple years that they should have won a chip. The year the Warriors won, they should have won a chip. Last year they had a little slip up. I'm gonna go with the Celtics though. They spent a lot of money on this team with Porzingis. You got Derek White. Obviously, they have some questions with the head coaching. I hear some Celtics fans who aren't really too happy. You have a lot of issues with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They do a lot of one-on-one basketball, especially when it comes down to the end of the game. So their offense doesn't really flow as well. But this team has everything to win a championship. There's no excuses for this team at all. Jason Tatum is a hell of a player. You got Jaylen Brown, Chris Stapps. Like you can't go wrong from 1 to 6. You can't at all. Like this team has everything. They can switch. They can play small ball. They can play big with Al Horford. All that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with the Celtics for sure on this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. because they both would be, I think, a disappointment if they don't win it this year. But I'm gonna go with the Clippers, man, because how long we been doing this with the Clippers, man? Like they've been putting this team together for so long. Paul George been there forever. Then they bring Kawhi over. Now you got Harden. It's just they got so many guys over there. It seems like every year they bring a new dude over there to try to get a championship, and they don't get close. So I'm gonna go with the Clippers, man, because they've been like I said, they've been trying to put this thing together for years, and they just seem like they can't put it together in the playoffs or whatever for whatever reason. So because the Celtics, at least they got there. You know what I'm saying? At least last year they got to the dance. It was just they ran to Denver, but this team, you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know. I think it's the Clippers.
I hear you. Honestly, like if we really want to be honest, both these teams have a lot of pressure on them. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to pick just one. Like the Clippers definitely need to win. With the age situation with Kawhi, Paul George. This is like the first time they've actually been able to hit 65 games in a long time. Obviously, I'm kind of curious to see how much longer Ty Lue has the patience to be with this team. You know what I mean? Like, I love Ty Lue. I think Ty Lue's one of the best head coaches in the league, but, it could be frustrating dealing with a Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? Him, you had that whole incident, I think it was like a week or two ago, where he just left the whole arena in the middle of the game. You know what I mean? So, and then you got to deal with Harden. They got to figure out what they want to do with him at the end of the year. Like, are they going to pay him? I think that would be a huge mistake. I get that they're moving into the new arena, so they want to kind of still have an identity, but if you can't even get out of the first round with this team, it's going to be a really big problem. They're going to have to really make some hard decisions with this team, and try to figure out what pieces to keep and what pieces that they're going to have to get rid of.
But I think that's the Clippers' fault, though, right? They make a whole lot of noise when James Harden came over there. Made a whole lot of noise with the trade when he joined them. Then Kawhi Leonard, you get the excuse, wait till we get a healthy Kawhi. Okay, he's healthy. He's been playing. They brought that pressure on themselves because of the noise that they made with the trades and the moves that they made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's 100%. Yeah, I can't disagree with you at all. Like they got to lay in their bed and sleep in it. At this point, so whatever happens, I said, I at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to start leaning towards y'all because it's really starting to sound like the Clippers. Yeah, they need to win it for sure.
Period.
Yeah, they got to do something because they keep adding players every year, and it's supposed to be their year. And it's not. So. All right, let's switch topics. Now, it's been all around town on the internet. On Max, they have this new documentary called "Quiet on the Set." It's about the Nickelodeon, all the shows that we all grew up on, all that. Some of y'all grew up on the Man that Binds. I was a little older by that time. But all those shows that came on, Keenan and Kel, any show that you could think of, they talked about it. And it was a lot of nastiness going on, a lot of nasty work going on, some pedophiles on here. Dan Snyder, he was doing some craziness, some sexual harassment stuff, some racist stuff to some of the black young actors. I just want to get y'all assessment of what you watched on this documentary.
So I haven't seen the documentary myself. So when you told me about it, I went and did some research. So I'm like, oh, Nickelodeon back in the 90s, early 2000s. I was growing up, like I was tuned in every morning to Nickelodeon, watching the Rugrats, Keenan and Kel, and I didn't really at the time really see it as they doing the sexual thing. But going back, thinking back to it, I'm like, it was low key. Wasn't a lot of attention being brought onto it because the conversation of sexual assault and things of that nature wasn't at the forefront of where it is for us today. So I don't think we paid attention to the details of it right then because it wasn't in our face like that. But I'm interested to go back and see it and really watch it from kind of an innocent eye without any judgment and trying to see if maybe it was a little inappropriate or not. I haven't had a chance to watch the documentary though myself.
When you watch it, you're gonna realize real quick it was bad. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I was really oblivious when I was a younger kid. You know what I mean? I do remember some of the scenes that they show in the documentary, and when you kind of look at it as an adult, you're like, that looks mad crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like some scenes like I wasn't really too previewed on the Ariana Grande situation because I think at that time I stopped watching Nickelodeon when she started coming around. But you know, the scenes with her, you know, where she's playing with this potato, trying to get the juice out of it, and then you have her laying down on the bed, pouring water all over her chest and neck and making all these moaning noises and stuff like that. It's just pretty crazy. And when you start really getting into it, all they had a couple, pedophiles on the behind the scenes parts where it gets really crazy. Prayers out to Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a
man.
big part in this whole situation. So it just makes it really sad. Even when you see like old cartoons, like when you see like the Ren and Stimpy's and all that, like they did some wild stuff on some of them cartoons where you're like, damn,
That's true.
we used to watch this. Like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
So like I said, we were all, I think majority of us were kind of like oblivious to what we were watching at that age. But it just makes it, kind of sad that, you see what those young kids had to deal with, behind the scenes, kind of like the torture, the young women in the writers' rooms having to go through that, you know what I mean? Just kind of like, it really just brings all the stereotypes that we're trying to change in Hollywood, you know what I mean? As far as like, how women are treated, pay scale and all that, kids, now you have all this, there's always some sex scandal going on, and obviously, you got the whole Diddy thing going on, and it just seems like it's always something new over sexual allegations, sexual assault, predatory stuff, which, Hollywood is a sick place, man. I think we all know that, but it's just sad, man. Prayers out to all those kids and those families that had to go through all those traumatizing situations during, being on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, man. That Dan Snyder, he was just a nasty dude, man. He just, man, he did a lot of stuff, man, and he tried to cut corners, like you said, with the two women writers, trying to pay them. He paid them half a salary off of one salary, and he wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
His relationship with Amanda Bynes was kind of weird. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then the three pedophiles that was on the show, especially all three of them, was just nasty work. Brian Peck and whatever his name, Handy, whatever his name is, like both of them was just nasty work. Like, and like you said, prayers out to Drake Bell, man, because man, that dude, he went through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And his father tried to warn him and they wasn't trying to hear him. And the mother, she ain't no good for cutting the dad off like that. And yeah, it was the demise of Drake Bell for sure. So if you haven't watched it,
yeah, watch it. Like, I got another thing. It's kind of crazy. What's up with dudes named Dan Snyder? Like, I know the names are spelled different, but you had the Commanders, old owner dealing with crazy shit. Now you got the homie from, Nickelodeon. So all you Dan Snyders, man, y'all got to represent y'all names better. Dog, it's crazy. It is crazy.
I mean, yeah, Dan Snyder. He was a nerd growing up, and he got a little power when he got older, and he abused it. That's what it was. That's basically what it was. He got power and he abused it, but he was making Nickelodeon way too much money, so everybody turned a blind eye. All them executives, Nickelodeon ain't absolved from this either because they knew what was going on. Like, you can't tell me they wasn't getting constant reports and complaints by Dan Snyder and everybody else that was on that staff. You know what I'm saying? Somebody saying something. You know what I'm saying? So Nickelodeon, you nasty work too. So
Nickelodeon is the R. Kelly of T-Rate network, huh?
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
Disney probably ain't absolved from this
Disney's
either.
Next. Disney's next too.
Disney ain't absolved from this either because they hired end up hiring one of them dudes that was a sexual offender on there.
After it happened. So.
And some of you actors that wrote letters for that dude, y'all nasty work too. So
y'all all guilty.
Yeah. So if y'all haven't seen it, go on Max, you know what I'm saying, and go watch Quiet on the Set because it is crazy. Actually coming out with a bonus episode too. So
highly recommend.
Wow, they gonna continue it?
No, April 7th, they got a bonus episode. I don't know what this one's about, but somebody else coming out. Probably Amanda Bynes or somebody.
Maybe.
So all right, y'all, let's switch to football. with the draft coming up, there was speculation on Caleb Williams talking about, he was going to pull a Eli Manning because he didn't want to go to the Bears, but it looks like he's going to go to the Bears. Um, so the question is, if you're a top prospect and you don't want to go to the team that is going to get the first round pick, because you got to know if you're a great player in college, you're going to a bad team. It is what it is. It's just
Yeah.
that's what it is. You're going to go to a bad team. You're going to go to the worst team in the league. So get
Mhm.
ready. But if you don't want to go to that team, do you pull a Eli Manning? Say, I ain't showing up. I ain't coming. I ain't doing it. Before it was Eli Manning, it was the John Elway because John Elway did it too. So y'all ain't showing up. I ain't gonna play for y'all. Do you think that's the right thing to do, Miss Ballin D? What do you say?
I mean, at the time they could get away with it. I can't
Yeah, I
see,
know.
well, I can't really say that because Khalid, what he's been, all the smoke he's been doing, saying the diva things he's been doing, saying he won't own a stake in this and that. I don't know, man. You got to focus at the end of the day. It has to turn into it's a business for you at this point. You got to take your
Yeah.
feelings and emotions out of it and go get your bag. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
although we know the Bears have been not the best team, but I mean you're in position to at this point you got to make it about how can I make this work for me, and at the point it has to become a money sign for you at this point. Like that has to be your primary focus. It can't be the wins and losses because that's just not gonna happen.
No,
No doubt.
I totally think that players should definitely take more initiative on where they would like to go. We've seen a lot of players get put in bad positions where their careers end up fizzling out because they were in bad positions. They had a bad coordinator, or you're a quarterback, going to a defensive minded coach. We've seen situations where it just doesn't end up going well. Now, I think with this situation with the Bears, I think Caleb Williams is actually going into a really good situation. The Bears weren't really the worst team in the league. They were a 7-win team. They got the Panthers
Mhm.
pick. You're getting Keenan Allen. You're getting Swift. You get Cole Kmet. You have a lot of pieces around that. It's gonna I think put you in a successful situation. But you seen Deion Sanders come out talking about his son and Travis Hunter. Like they're gonna be real choosy on where these he wants them to go, because he knows the game. He knows that there are certain situations that it's not gonna go well. We want to be a part of an organization that is in the right position to make him succeed. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that not every player will be able to do this. Obviously, this is only going to have to be top prospects. Like, you got to be like a top 3 pick, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, for you to get away with this. Because if not, it's going to be a black stain on your record with these NFL teams. You know how these NFL teams are. You know what I mean? So you kind of see it a little bit with Marvin Harrison Jr., where he didn't want to do the pro days and nothing. So they're starting to second guess whether he's the right fit. Even though we've all seen the videotape of Marvin Harrison Jr., he's an amazing wide receiver. So I definitely think prospects should definitely be a little bit more cautious and try to go to the best situation for them.
Well, in that, how do you avoid something like a super team when you think of that? I want to go to, especially from the quarterback position. I
Yeah.
want to go to the team that's going to set me up for the sets with the top receivers or things of that nature. That becomes kind of a conflict, don't you think, in regards to players being to have control in that aspect?
No, absolutely. Now it's not going to be like a situation where you can get like a Caleb, like hypothetically get a Caleb Williams to go all the way, and sign with a team that was 13-3. Like that's not going to happen. Like he's not going to go to the Eagles. Like obviously, it'll have to be a situation where a team can make a trade. You know what I mean? Kind of like in the range of like anywhere from like 1 to 8 type of situation, maybe even 10. So he won't have like the pick of litter, but he will at least have a couple more options where if that team could possibly trade up to one, where that he would be able to, kind of like make some moves happen. Like, yo, respectfully, I don't think this situation is going to go well for us. I think I would be better suited for this situation, and I think that would help my career, be as successful as it could possibly be playing for this specific team instead of playing for you guys, because you guys don't have your shit together. You know what I mean? It's no different from what they
Mhm.
do to these prospects. So these prospects need to do the same thing to these teams. You know what I mean? This is your career. This is your livelihood. The NFL is really quick to, say you're great, and then a year later you're trash. Like they did that to Bryce Young. Bryce Young is a terrible quarterback, even though what we've seen him be in Alabama is really good. He's just in a terrible situation. Me and Cris talk about it all the time, and we feel bad for him. Like he has no O line, no running back, no receivers. The defense is okay, and then he has a coaching situation where he has a new coach, so now he has to deal with that. Learn a new playbook, situations like that, so you want to be more in a stable environment if I'm a Caleb Williams or a Jaden Daniels or any top pick, especially the quarterback position. You want to be in the right situation.
Let's keep it real, man. Eli Manning, he got a little bit of he got that Manning name. So you know what I'm saying? So that Manning name caught him a little leeway. You know what I'm saying? Archie wasn't playing that shit. They respect Archie. And then Peyton Manning was the man at the time. So he had the leeway to I ain't going to the Chargers. I want to go to the Giants. You know what I'm saying? And he got his way. Archie, got his foot in the door. Somebody like Caleb Williams, yeah, he's great, but do you hear the slander out here? We talk about it all the time, Mom.
I get it, but like I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying, like they're like, why not? I said I think Caleb Williams is going in a really good situation. Like I still don't agree with the head coach, but overall he has pieces around him. But hey, the Sanders name is just as high
different.
And then the Manning name. You know what I mean?
Different.
But you know what's going to happen, though. You know what's going to happen. These players with the NIL money and stuff like that, they already feel entitled as it is. So you're going to start seeing top edge players, top-notch quarterbacks trying to dictate where they want to go. We've seen that. And this is just going to be more of a trend. Like, yeah, Caleb Williams is going to go to the Bears, but there were reports saying that, his dad didn't want him to go to the Bears and all that. I think, where there's smoke, there's fire, That's all I'm saying.
But if his name was Caleb Rice, then maybe we have we talk about it a little bit. If he was Caleb Rice,
the name has weight. The name has weight. You know what I mean?
Then they'd be like, you know what, Mr. Jared Rice, you right. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna put him on the Bears. We'll put him over here. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that last name had a little weight for Eli, because it's not like Eli was just a world beater when he came out. Like he was okay. He was cool. Like it wasn't like he was. I even think Caleb was a little bit of a better prospect than Eli Manning coming out. So
100%, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I hear what you're saying.
It's a sticky situation, but I do agree with you that Shador could probably get away with it, because if especially if Shador goes out, wins the Heisman next year, Colorado makes it to the playoffs because they expanded it, so everybody and their baby mama can make the playoffs now. So Colorado might make the playoffs next year and he wins the Heisman, then he's really going to have a little bit of extra clout. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey, I want to go to this team. I want to go here. My dad said I don't want to go to a cold weather team. I want to go to a warm weather team. You know what I'm saying? So I can see that happening. You know what I'm saying? But if it's, Quinn Evers.
Well, nah. As I said, it has to be a top-notch, like, QB prospect. It has to be like a top 3 pick. Like you have to be a top 3 player, like number 1, number 2, number 3, like kind of like that situation. You know what I mean? You can't be a number 10 trying to dictate where you're going to go. I'm just saying, like the number 1 pick quarterback, I think you're going to start hearing little things more and more. Like, as I said, you got these NIL money coming in for these college kids. They feel more entitled. They feel like they already know this is a business as it is. So I'm gonna treat going into the draft like a business. You're starting to see more and more players not do the pro. You're starting to see a couple players not do pro days. They're not going to the combines no more, because they're like, look, I don't need to, have my shirt off, and do all this working out when you could just pull up the tape. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna dictate who I'm gonna talk to. I'm gonna dictate who's gonna get my medicals. Like, if you're not drafting me, what's the point of you having my medicals? If you're not gonna draft me, if you're 23rd and I'm gonna be at least a top 2 pick, what's the point of me wasting my time and you trying to find out why my mama was a hooker or some shit? You know what I mean? And disrespect my family. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point in them doing that. And I stand tall for these players doing that stuff like that, because the draft process shouldn't go through like knowing who your baby mama is and all that. I get it. You're trying to invest money, but talk to me as a player. Now, if I have some off the field issues where I done got arrested, or, I'm affiliated to a gang or some bullshit like that, then okay. Like, you could talk to me about some stuff like that, but you don't need to talk about my parents and where they came from. You don't need to talk about my baby mama. You don't need to talk about any of that type of situation, because that has nothing to do with what I do on the field at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I
Thanks. I
agree.
agree with you with that.
All right, yo, let's do our bet us surefire
Mm-hmm.
bets.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Bet Us, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're one of our many sponsors that we have. So we're gonna make our few picks. I'm gonna let you go, Mo.
Yeah, so for tomorrow, March Madness, I got Illinois with the money line over Iowa State. I love Illinois. I think that team has a really good chance of making the Final Four. I'm gonna take Gonzaga plus 5.5 against Purdue. I think Purdue has some weaknesses. I know a lot of people, think Purdue's gonna win this pretty easy, but I like Gonzaga in that game. And then the last one, I'm gonna take the Pelicans plus 2.5 against the Bucks. Bucks kind of, they get a little shaky, and then I think the Pelicans have been playing pretty well the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the March Madness. I'm gonna take 4.5 North Carolina.
Mm.
I'm with you on Gonzaga. I'm taking the plus 5.5. And I'm taking Duke money line over Houston.
Ooh, you taking them?
Ooh.
Wow,
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Houston's been suspect for me too, man.
they have been suspect.
They've been suspect. They've just been squeaking by. But if Duke play like they played, Jared McCain shoots like he shoots lights out that last game. The only issue though is I think that Houston team is a little bit more physical than the Duke squad. But if
Yeah.
Duke gets out in transition, then they got a good chance.
No, they do. They do. That's gonna be a really good game. There's a lot of good games this weekend. A lot of good
Yes.
games.
I need them advance for my bracket. Dude, you know what I'm saying?
How y'all brackets doing, man? Did you see the percentage of brackets that they say
Terrible.
are still left, man? If you
My
say your
brackets are
bracket is not
terrible.
busted, you're lying. You're fake news.
Yeah, I
bracket
think
is
I'm
terrible.
like 60 or a little less than 60% as far as like winning percentage on mine. So I think my Final Four is still intact though.
Mine's
most
is
part.
too, but yeah, it ain't looking good.
Nah, it's not looking
That's
good.
So
what y'all
shout
think
out
about
to
that UConn San Diego State game, though, man? That's gonna be a good matchup. I like San Diego State, to keep it close early, but I think ultimately UConn's gonna run them down.
The thing with San Diego State, they're gonna play slow. They're a
Mhm.
slow, methodical team. They're gonna try to be rough. They play defense. Like if they allow UConn to play fast, they're not winning this game. But if they can muddy it up, keep it like a low scoring game within like the 50 range, something like that, 50, 60, I think they got a chance. But UConn's really just they're just too good.
It's tough.
They're tough.
It's
I
tough.
got UConn in a blowout, man.
It's tough.
UConn's just too good, man.
Yeah, I think that what is the spread? Our last look was 12.
I think it was like 13 or something now, 12 or 13.
That's just to catch your attention to throw you off, man. I'm with you, Chris. I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, it's minus 11 on here.
Minus 11. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're gonna smack them around. Just how UNLV guys down today in the NIT.
I was rooting for the boys too.
They lost today.
I don't like how UNLV play, man. I just don't. It just seems like they too dependent on Deedon, man. It just seems like Deedon.
That's
just
all they have offensively.
He just dribbles, goes to the hole, and if he makes it, he makes it. If he don't, he don't. It's like
he controls the pace of that offense. Like
he does.
When he walks the ball up, they do everything in really a half court set, and he controls that offense. And then they force up 3-pointers. They have some bad possessions, very bad possessions.
They do.
Yeah.
And Seton Hall just came out on fire. They came out hot, and he just couldn't recover really.
They don't have the
They was trying
in
in that first quarter. They was trying to inch close, and then it was just like, we can stop playing with
Seton Hall said night.
But hey, shout out to you, UNLV.
Hopefully next year, be a little bit better.
All right, y'all. Let's talk a little music, man. Disrespect over here right now.
Ooh.
Did Jay-Z have a year? What are we doing here, y'all? What are we doing here? Huh? I'm gonna let you go, Mom, because I want to hear what you got to say.
So, like, obviously, I saw a little. I saw a thing.
Clip.
You saw the clip, right? I don't know. I don't know if Vince Ballin D has seen it, but he was kind of like going on saying like Jay-Z has never had the year in hip hop. Like he never owned the year in hip hop since he started rapping. You know what I mean? He kind of going on saying like, I think he said like 1996. I think that's when Jay-Z started, doing his thing. He said that was Tupac's year. The big year, I think it was 98 with volume, Hard Knock Life Volume 2. He said DMX. When I kind of did the research on that, I kind of low key kind of agree. Like I know Hard Knock Life did sell really well, but DMX had two number ones, and then he had a couple other songs that he was featured on, like 4321 with LL Cool J, Money Power Respect with the Locks. You know what I mean? He had a really big year. But I do think the Blueprint in 2001, I think that was definitely his year. I know in his clip he kind of said Ludacris. I'm not giving Ludacris that. Like, I love Ludacris. I'm a
Me
big
too.
Ludacris fan, but he did not own the year. I definitely give it to Jay-Z. I just remember when the Blueprint was coming out, there was advertisements for that everywhere. You know what I mean? When 106 and Park came out, the whole, H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy album, you know what I mean? Like, that shit, I just remember those, you know what I mean? So I think he did have 2001. The rest of the years I kind of agree with, as far as like Jay-Z not owning that year. Wayne did own a lot of those years. Kanye with Graduation and all that, you know what I mean? So I can definitely understand it, but I did give him 2001.
I like
What
that
you think?
Blueprint album. That album went platinum, right? The Blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
It was on
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
did.
was a five. It was a 5 mic album.
That part.
Yeah.
So they say I didn't get a chance to see the clip. Where was
Well,
who
it's
was on the clip?
he was some young guy, I think. I don't know. He might have been our age. I don't know. But
Yeah.
he was just basically just breaking down the years. He said 96 was, I think he said 96 was Tupac year, 97 was Biggie's year, 98 was DMX's year, and then he said
Mm,
he said 99. A lot of people give 99 Jay-Z because 98 was kind of like his breakthrough year, like, oh, he's up next type year. And then 99 was like, oh, okay, he's about to blow up. You know what I'm saying? Which I believe 99 was Jay-Z's year too. Because that's when the Hard Knock Life stuff came out. And when that song dropped, like, everybody knew who Jay-Z was. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, he broke through the whole mainstream mode, and he wasn't just a rapper's rapper. He was, a mainstream rapper at that time. So I think 99 was his year, and I think 2001 was his year for sure. 2001 was definitely his year because that was the year like Blueprint came out.
Yeah.
He was beefing with Nas, and like that was definitely his year. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to think that Jay-Z had no years in that. When Billboard said last year in 2023 he was the greatest rapper of all time, named by Billboard. So to say that you have no great years in that, we are talking about Billboard, but that's a tough argument.
It
yeah,
is
no,
like, but there were a lot of years where you had like the Ti years, you had the Nelly
mhm.
years. You
Jeezy
know,
had 2005, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Eminem.
I
Say
think
what you want
Eminem
about
had.
Eminem.
I
He
think
had a
Eminem
couple
had a
years.
year.
Yeah.
I said then you had Kanye.
Mhm.
So and then obviously Lil Wayne had a good really solid 3-year run. You know what I mean, at the end of like I think like 2008, 2009, 2010 range or something like that.
Then Drake
Then you
came
had
out.
Drake, and J. Cole, Kendrick, and all
Kendrick.
that. So and then like even I know it's not hip hop, but some people even say Lauren Hill had had a better year than Jay-Z, but that's not hip hop though. So I didn't really put that two and two together. But nah, I'm gonna give him at least Blueprint though, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah. Blueprint was his year for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what we doing here, man.
Yeah, that's,
All right, man. Let's talk a little basketball. Mr. Jontay Porter,
oh my gosh,
prop betting scandal investigation.
this guy.
So, Mr. Jontay Porter, he's under investigation for allegedly doing some faulty stuff with the prop bets. You know what I'm saying? So one game he didn't play. He said he had an injury, and I think the under on his points was like under like 4.5 or something, and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
under whatever 3-point shots or whatever. So he didn't end up playing.
Mhm.
So whoever betted on it, they had like the biggest wins of that day, which is, Jontay didn't get no minutes at this time. So it was kind of like, who the hell is betting on Jontay Porter? But they let it, DraftKings let it slide. They was like, all right, whatever. But then it happened again. And they was like, hold on. This man ain't getting no minutes. Who is betting on Jontay Porter? So now they think that Jontay told somebody, hey, I'm not playing today. Go and put this bet in.
Mhm.
Make your little money, man. Just split it with me. Now we all know Shohana Otani is out here doing some things a little fugazi, and now Jontay is looking a little crazy. Miss
Little sus-
Ballin, what do you think?
Little suspect. I don't know, man. I mean, you come into the game, you play 4 minutes, you score no points, and all of a sudden you say, "Oh, my eye is messed up." You injured your eye a week earlier, my guy. Why did you even start the game? Okay, no, that's questionable. Then you do it again. You say, "Oh, I'm sick. I'm not feeling well," and the same things happen again. Like people, the maximum that you bet, they say on prop bets are $2,000. They say these people who were putting $10,000 to $20,000 on these prop bets for the under for him. I'm like, before I even seen the story, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And then they say, oh well, he's the brother of
Michael
Michael
Porter
Porter,
Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. So I'm like, I never even heard. I mean, it's not making sense. Like you gotta. I mean, he could be completely innocent in it, but all fingers point to say it's questionable.
Yeah,
Unlike
nah,
unlike
go ahead.
Shohan, he can't speak Japanese to get out of this one.
Yeah, nah, like with the Otani thing, I've already said it. As long as he ain't bet on baseball, I could care less. You got a lot of
Yeah,
these sports leagues already in bed with all these gambling
that's
websites
true.
anyway. Porter, look, there's not much to say, but it's idiotic stuff. His career is over if he's guilty, which it sounds like it's pretty much he's guilty because no way in hell I didn't even know who Jontay Porter was until this whole
Exactly.
situation happened. So if somebody's betting on Jontay Porter, that sounds suspicious in its own right. So, at the end of the day, he tried to get a little quick buck, but now he's gonna lose the rest of his career. Hopefully, he can find some room overseas, man, and try to make some money over there, or, join the big three. You know what I mean? So, because his NBA days are over.
I mean, this
Yeah.
with you talk about. You mentioned the DraftKings, and even who you guys are sponsored by.
Mhm.
Bet Us. With that being such a thing that's been taken off in the last 3 to 5 years, are these sport teams really going to be able to truly control that? The NCAA also came out today and said, they wanted to stop allowing individuals to bet on prop bets for individual players as well. So, is that something we're going to see where they really be able to get this thing under control in regards
No,
to being able to control these players, these employees making these type of bets?
I
No,
don't think so. I don't
No,
think so.
because individually you can't stop anybody from doing anything. That's just impossible. You're always gonna have the one person who's just like, look, gambling is obviously a very addictive thing. You know what I mean? Like, there are gonna be people that do bets and all that type of stuff. At the end of the day, as long as you don't bet on your sport, like if you're playing in basketball, don't bet on NBA. If you're playing in NFL, don't bet on football games. That's point blank. Now, if you want to bet baseball or whatever else, that sport that you don't play, go for it. I don't care. You know what I mean? That's your money. That's your loss. You can't dictate what's going to happen in those games. But if you do something where you're betting on the NFL games, I don't care if it's for a team you don't play for. We're gonna have to cut that. You know what I mean? Because it's not a good look for the league. At the end of the day, these gambling websites aren't going anywhere. They're making way too much money off these gambling websites. ESPN, I think, even has its own
Yes,
gambling
man,
thing.
bet.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So at the end of the day, we got TV shows now, fantasy football and all that. To me, that's all gambling in its own right. So, it's here to stay. They just gotta, at the end of the day, there are gonna be some guys who mess up and they're gonna, jeopardize their career. But you can't control that.
How about stop being stupid
No, yeah.
Yeah,
and betting large amount of? If you was gonna bet on Jontay, why would you bet 20,000?
right,
That's greedy. That's
right.
just greedy. Like bet a little low 5,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
He said, "We don't
5,000,
even know who this dude is. No one even knew who he was. It still
and
don't."
space it out, man.
Look, man, I've
Don't
always
do
said
it.
this, man. America is built on scams. That's the number one occupation in the United States right now. Scamming. That's what it is. Everybody trying to make that bread.
Yeah,
Inflation's a
for sure.
motherfucker.
All right, sticking to basketball. Maul's favorite player, Caitlin Clark.
You're a Clarkie. You're a Clarkie, Mom.
Nah, I'm
He
not. I
can't
don't like
stand it. He
Caitlin
can't
Clark.
stand
I'm
it.
not a
He
Cam
can't
girl.
stand it.
You're a
Ice
Clarkie.
Ice Cube from the Big Three offered her a $5 million deal to come play in the Big Three. Now this brought a big uproar because Mr. Cube didn't offer some of these girls from the past, and there's some girls currently he probably could offer some money to. So what are your thoughts? I want to get your thought, Miss Ballin D. How do you feel
Man, I
about
mean,
this
Cris knew what he was
situation?
doing. Cris knew what he was doing. Then he came out and said, "Oh, we didn't expect it to get leaked. You know, right now, while she's trying to win a championship, you knew exactly what you was doing. And from a business standpoint, I'm not mad at you, Q. But I mean, you got to make it make sense. You said, "Oh, we're trying to do it to give these girls an opportunity, break down barriers." You offered this to Caitlin Clark. It's not like you offered this to several girls. You only offered it to
Mhm.
Caitlin Clark. You knew exactly the effect that it would have to get people to fill seats in with the big three. We're talking about a league that's not really getting the exposure that you thought it would be. You knew exactly what you were doing from a business standpoint. And in that matter, I'm not mad at you. I'm not
Mhm.
mad at you from a business seat. But $5,000, $5 million for what? 10 games, 8 regular season games, and possibly two playoff games. I mean, we know, everybody say, well, $5 million for Caitlin Clark, but she's worth her NIL money is 3.5 million. It's not like Caitlin needs the money. I mean, she's gonna
Yeah.
make all that money up in her NIL deals and endorsements that she's taking with her anyway.
Right. Yeah, she's about to be a queen over in Indiana
Yeah,
right now.
they
So
unfortunately they're gonna make her the face of the league. They're trying to they've already have done that. We've been
mm,
I feel bad. You have the Asia Wilsons who's been fighting shit. She came into the league to become the face of the WNBA. What other records does she have to set? How much more of a history does she have to write for herself before y'all make her the face of the league? But you have a Caitlin Clark, and it's like they're giving it to her on a silver platter. Like I mean, they would probably say, well, why didn't offer to an Angel Reese? Angel Reese can't bring the same audience that Caitlin Clark is going to bring. People are selling out arenas just to see Caitlin Clark. Jersey sales are sky high, sky off, flying off the racks for it. I mean, like I said, from a business standpoint, I'm not mad at you.
yeah. What's your thoughts, Mom? Look at your face.
He's like, yeah, he's disgusted.
I'm over this bitch.
No, I understand. I understand the business side of Q doing this. I get it. Caitlin Clark, she has the attention of, America at this particular time. But I'm gonna say this right here. I think this is a load of shit. Like you have a lot of other players that deserve this. Asia Wilson, she deserves it way more than Caitlin Clark
Mhm.
deserves it. Um, Jackie Young, she deserves it way more. Kelsey Plum deserves it way more. Diana Taurasi deserves it way more.
Mhm.
Um, look, I know Shorty can hoop. I know she can, shoot her little threes and all that type of stuff like that. But let's be honest, man. I think Shorty's a little overrated. I think Juju Watkins is clearly the best player um in women's college basketball. I think Paige Buchers. I think she's nasty. If it wasn't for all her injuries, Paige Buchers, I think she would be head above shoulders than Caitlin Clark. I really do believe that. And I know this may sound like hate against Caitlin Clark. I get it. But like it gets to a point where it's just like I'm a big proponent for WNBA. I love the ladies game. I think the ladies game has been growing. The women, the athletic ability of these women are getting way better. I love watching the Aces basketball. Like I love it. You know what I mean? It's very entertaining shit. But let's stop acting like Caitlin Clark is gonna be able to play in the big three. I don't care who she is. She gonna get locked up by the oldest motherfuckers that were in the
Mhm.
league. It's not
Mhm.
happening. It's not happening. You know what I mean? Like let's be honest. Like I saw Shorty get locked up by who were they playing last game? Like you know what I mean? Like she was low
West
key getting
Virginia.
yeah. So she gets her little 30 points, shooting 30 times. That's cute. You know what I mean? That's cool. But like at the end of the day, I think West Virginia got screwed out of that game too. Like it was kind of ridiculous. They got 30 free. Iowa got 30 free throws. Caitlin Clark pushing off, crying, and all that. It's crazy. Like you know what I mean? The same kind of um anger that's shown at Angel Reese. You don't see that with Caitlin Clark. I think Caitlin Clark is worse with the attitude. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me. It's the entitlement feeling with her. Um, like people are saying we've never seen anything like this before. We have. We seen Diana Taurasi do it. We seen Sue Bird do it. We've seen Kelsey Plum do it. The one she just broke the record for. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking about?
We're seeing
Maya Moore
Juju
was
do
one.
it right now.
Yeah.
Maya Moore is the greatest women's college basketball player ever. If she was still in the league, she would still be killing. We forget about Maya Moore. Do we
We
forget
forget
about
about
Candace
Candace
Parker?
Parker. Yeah.
Right.
Do we forget about Sarah Swoops? Do we forget about Cheryl Miller? She scored 100. She scored 100. So stop acting like we haven't seen this before. We have seen this in the women's game before. It's the only fact that she's a white girl killing the game. That is it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, she's going to bring eyes because she has a particular certain audience that wants to watch her. Yeah. Not everybody, that audience ain't going to want to watch Juju Watkins. They're not going to be the biggest fans of Juju Watkins. You already have the hate against Angel Reese. It's not going to happen. So, and then that's not including any of the other ladies that play for South Carolina. South Carolina's killing it. You know what I mean? So, you know, with me, I'm just tired of this Caitlin Clark thing. You know, people saying, you know, she can play for the Pistons and all that. Like, come on, man. What
okay, relax.
Like, chill out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know, ESPN, I get it. You know, Caitlin Clark is the name, but like, it pissed me off on, I think it was First Take when they were talking about the ladies' games on like Tuesday or something after Monday, and they just brought up Caitlin Clark and Paige Buchers, but Juju killed it. Juju killed it. USC has been killing it. They ain't even been in a close game. Iowa barely escaped through, and they should have lost. You know what I mean? Paige Buchers played amazing. They have a lot of injuries on that UConn team, which I know it's affecting them to a degree, but Paige Buchers has been balling. Like,
not only that, the freshman from Notre Dame, Hidalgo, killing it on her own as well.
Yeah. So why are you not bringing up those girls' names? You know what I mean? Like it just pisses me off because there's certain ladies that just should get way more shine. And I've always been a big proponent that A'ja Wilson is the face of the WNBA, and it's not even close. I was upset Sabrina Ionescu was on the cover of 2K. Should have been A'ja Wilson. It wasn't even close. Like, y'all need to stop disrespecting this young lady. She is the best basketball player in the WNBA. She's breaking records, back-to-back champions. They looking to be back-to-back type of champions. You know what I mean? Like, put some more respect on A'ja Wilson's name. I've been said it. When Caitlin Clark comes in the WNBA, this ain't going to be the same as you in Iowa get to play against, you know, some bullshit-ass college teams and you can shoot 30 times. You think those girls in the WNBA ain't going to show you what's up? You don't think those WNBA chicks are way better than what you playing against now? Come on, man. What are we talking about? I can't wait. I've been asking for Juju Watkins against Caitlin Clark. I want to see that so Juju Watkins can bust her ass. I'm over Caitlin Clark.
Way more athletic, you know what I mean? Way more athletic.
Bigger, way more athletic.
Yeah.
Shot looks better. Like, she could defend. Caitlin Clark get cooked every goddamn game. What are we talking about? They hide her on the defense. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I mean, like, as far as Cube goes, you know, it was a business move. He was just trying to get some attention, you know what I'm saying? Eyes on the big three. You know what I'm saying? The big three ain't really like Miss Ballin D said, is not getting the eyes that he thought it was. He was complaining in the beginning of the year about, you know, how the NBA don't really, you know what I'm saying, they shove him to the side. So he had to do what he had to do. I get the business side. But as far as this goes, this was it was also a bad look. Because it was like you got all these other girls that's in college, just in college sports right now, in the college basketball rankings that are really good that you didn't offer now one contract to. You couldn't offer this to all these other girls that y'all mentioned, Juju, even Juju. Like you could have offered Juju. Hey, look, we pay you $5 million to leave USC right now,
and that's even worse because she's from LA. She from LA. You from LA. That's the one you want to do. Come on, man. Come on.
So they, you know, we all know it's an agenda. They always push the great white hope. It's been the test of times. A white person who comes up in the ranks, whether it be basketball, boxing, whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever is a predominantly black sport, and the white guy or white girl comes up and she's doing good, they're gonna push it. You know what I'm saying? Because they want that to be the face of whatever they're trying to push. They feel like that they get more marketing deals with that. So Caitlin Clark's going to sell more because she has a broader audience. Whereas Angel Reese, she's the typical black woman who's braggadocious. She's braggadocious. Yeah. Her and Floana, they both, you know what I'm saying? Floana, she's a rapper. You know what I'm saying? She raps. Like, you know, even though they're really good at basketball, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna get that list. They already was complaining about them when they won the other day. How they was, you know, talking trash. At least they're consistent. At least Angel Reese don't change up. At least 1 minute she ain't like all humble and no, she gonna tell you, I don't like you.
And I think Caitlin has the worst. I think Caitlin has the worse attitude than Angel
She do.
Reese. I mean, like you said, we know exactly what we're gonna get with Angel Reese. You
Mm-hmm.
expect it from Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark,
Mm-hmm.
she boldly just gonna do like, okay, whatever. Like some of those screens, and she knew exactly what she was doing. Setting some of those screens, she knew
Mm-hmm.
they were dirty, but hey, the ref turns a blind eye to him because who? She's Caitlin Clark.
She Caitlin
Her.
Clark, and it's just like it's the entitlement feeling. Like I should get every call. Like there was a video of her walking away from her teammates trying to huddle up for after a foul. She over there trying to complain, and her dad telling her to shut the
Shut
f up.
up.
You
Your
Mm-hmm.
know what I
own
mean?
father
Like
telling you that.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So and then I did see a video of the father, going at another fan or something like that. I thought that was kind of cringy as well. You know what I mean? The last game, I thought that was a little cringy. But I said there have been white women that have played the game that have done what Caitlin Clark has done. As I said, Diana Taurasi
Mm-hmm.
was. If you have not seen her, bro, back in the day, bro, she was butter. She
Yeah.
was butter, and
Yeah.
that jump shot looked like Kobe's, bro. I'm gonna be honest. She looked like the female
Yeah.
Kobe. Like she just could not miss, and she was just killing. Like I said, Sue Bird, Kelsey Plum. There have been plenty of white women that I'm willing to acknowledge that are great players. But Caitlin Clark, she gets to shoot 30, 40 times a game. The ball's in their hands all the time. I get it, but like the consistency of it, the rate of her shots, like it just I don't know. Like I expect her to get 30 every time because she's gonna have the ball in her hand. If she don't get the ball, she's gonna cry and bitch all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? Like there's not another player that they try to get involved. Like there's no one else on that team. I don't know if the girls are just not good enough or whatever it is, but Caitlin Clark would get her 10 assists, making it look like she's a team player, but she's shooting goddamn 30 times, man. Come on, what are we talking about? And then she bitches.
Yeah, Juju has a better Juju shoots better efficiently from the field than Caitlin Clark does.
No, yeah. I know she had that one game where she shot like, 15 for 35 or something like that, and she got like 30 points. Yeah, that looked a little whatever. But for the most part, Juju, when you watch USC games, she be trying to get other people involved. She plays defense. She don't be trying to hide on the defensive side. Like she's a really great defensive player. Like you can just tell Juju is like if Juju Watson came out, I think she should be the number one pick, not Caitlin Clark. It should be Juju. And I don't even think it should be close. You know what I mean? But Indiana, it works. She gonna go to Indiana. She gonna, play in front of that fan base. They're gonna be hyped. God bless her. It's gonna put more eyes on that team. You know what I mean? I don't know who else is on that squad for the Fever, but who is that? Isn't that that girl
there too?
Aaliyah Boston? Yeah, shorty from South Carolina. So she was balling too. You know what I mean? So that's just another player that is gonna get some more shine, which she deserves that too. Aaliyah Boston is a hell of a player.
But I think it's too with the whole color thing. You try to make it not about that, but they
Right.
they make it so
Yeah.
obvious.
They do.
Gino or UConn has been struggling for the last 2 seasons, really since Paige has been down, and you still want to make it seem like Gino is this. He's been a great coach, but you got to give respect to Dawn Staley and what she's doing with South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
It's complete, but they don't. They. I'm like, you can't still keep Gino up here at the height and say, oh well, Dawn hasn't, she hasn't been at it as long as Dawn Staley is doing a hell of a job, and she deserves more credit and respect than you all are willing to give her.
100%. She's the best recruiter, best coach.
And if they go undefeated this year, you have to put some respect.
I don't want to hear nothing else about UConn. I don't want to hear nothing.
It should already be like that. It shouldn't even take this season. It should already be like that. Absolutely. South Carolina's been the most dominant team the last how many years? So
yeah.
All right, about to do a little sports trivia. What you got for us, Mom?
Okay, so I'm gonna do sports trivia. I'm gonna ask some questions. Whoever has the answers the correct answer the most, they win the game. You know what I mean? Obviously, we don't have no buzzards, but just raise your hand or something. You know what I mean? All right. So, question. Let me get the questions. All right. So, question 1. Zach Wilson, true or false, had over 2,000 passing yards last year.
Zach Wilson had how many, you say?
Over 2,000 yards last year. True or false?
I'm going to go on a limb and say false.
Say false. What did you say, Cris?
I'm gonna go true.
True. The answer is true. One for Cris.
Okay.
He had 2,271 yards. All right. Next question. Who were the final four teams in the 2022 college football playoff?
Ooh. Football teams.
Yeah, it's college football. The four teams that made it to the final four.
And when? What year?
2022.
I'm gonna throw Alabama out there because they just seem to always be there. So I can give you on that one.
Any answers, Chris?
You said 2022.
2022, the final four playoff.
Didn't they? Was Michigan?
That's one.
Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama?
No.
Dang.
Was Ohio State in there?
Ohio State was in there.
Because
And
they
TCU?
always there too.
Yeah, it was the Georgia, Ohio State, TCU versus Michigan. That was that year.
No Bama, huh? Wow.
No
okay.
Bama that year. No Bama that year.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna say no one got that one. All right. Next question. What college did Jalen Brunson attend?
You got me on that one.
Ooh. Got me on that too.
Oh, what? I'll give you a hint. I'll give y'all a hint. It's a Big East team.
Syracuse?
Nah. Miss Ballin D.
Oh. I have no clue.
Big East team. Just give me a team. UConn. No. The answer is Villanova. Remember Villanova? Josh Hart. You know why he got excited? All right. Next question. What is the Grambling State College mascot?
The Tigers?
That's correct, Chris. It is the Tigers.
We all should know that.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. In what year did LeBron get drafted?
07?
Nope.
I'm tripping. I know 03.
It was 03. Congratulations, Chris. 03. All right. Next question. How many majors has Tiger Woods won?
8. Just for the hell of it.
Chris, you got a number?
14.
Ooh, close. It was actually 15. 15. All right. Next question. Who was the last team Kobe and Shaq played against as a duo?
The last team they played against as a duo. Hey.
I'll give you a hint. It was in the playoffs.
What? That's the hint?
Yep.
You said it was in the playoffs?
In the playoffs. They made the playoffs their final year together.
You got me.
Oh my God. All right. I'll give you guys one more hint. It's an East team. So I should give you a better hint.
It's a what team?
East Coast team.
In the playoffs? So they was in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons?
Yep, it was the Pistons. That was the year with Gary Payton and Karl Malone and all that. And they ended up losing, I think, 4-1.
What year was that? What year was that?
I think that was 2003.
Okay.
All right. Next question. What was the championship matchup in last year's NCAA men's basketball game?
What was the what?
Who was in the championship game? What was the matchup in last year's? I'll give you a hint. I'll give y'all a hint.
It was trash.
I'll give y'all a hint. They're playing.
It was UConn and San Diego State, right?
Yep, there you go. There you go, Miss Ballin D. There you go on the board.
Finally,
all right.
I mean, Chris, you know.
All right, got a couple more questions. We ain't gonna take too long on this. All right, how many championships does Richard Jefferson have?
Oh, I don't know.
Ooh. Richard Jefferson when he played with the oh. Two.
You got a number, Chris?
4.
4. It was 1. 1 with the Cavs.
The Cavs. Wow.
Yep.
He didn't get none other ones?
Nope. Nah, just the Cavs. All right. Next question. Last 2 questions. In 2023, what team did not play in the play-in tournament? Here's your options: the Hawks, Nets, or Raptors. Which one did not play in the play-in tournament?
Hawks, Nets, and Raptors.
The Nets?
That's correct. It was the Nets. They were the 6th seed that year. Man, Chris, all right. You saying for a person that ain't too well on basketball, you kind of killing on the basketball. All right, last question. Last question. Y'all should be able to get this. If y'all get this, I'm gonna be kind of disappointed. All right. Against what team did Kobe score 81 points against?
Oh, you about to be disappointed in me, man.
Was it Phoenix?
It was not Phoenix. I'll give you a hint. It was the East Coast team, Upper East.
Oh. Upper East. Who was some players on the team? On the team he scored against?
I'll give you one. You ain't seen the commercial? Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose was on this team. Upper East.
Not the Pacers, no.
A little higher. You gotta go a little higher. You gotta go a little bit up.
Towards the border up or
the Knicks?
No, close though.
Toronto?
It was the Toronto Raptors. All right.
Hell of a guess.
All right. Well, Chris won that version of sports trivia. So, some questions.
All right, man. Open conversation. You got anything else?
What's your let's ask Miss Ballin D. What's your overall opinions on the whole Diddy situation? You know,
man, what my guy Diddy, man. I don't know. This whole thing has just been crazy, man. I'm just shaking my head. Year 24 is everybody is being exposed in year 2024. It all hit a bombshell when it first came out with him and the whole Cassie thing. I'm like, no, not Diddy, but it's been a trickle down effect against him ever since. And we saw how fast that story immediately disappeared. I don't even think it was out there 24 hours before we heard that, they had reached a settlement. He had paid her off. For Homeland Security to come in and raid your house like that, they're up to something. They have something's going on. I mean, it's been too many men and women coming out saying, they're accusing Diddy of sexual assault and misappropriate behavior and drugging and things of that nature. Now they say the ex-Syracuse basketball player was, the person who was smuggling drugs and guns for him. Mm-hmm. I like Diddy, man, but something's up.
Do you think he'll do a hard time?
I don't know.
I mean, for them to do all this, he probably will, for them to make an example out of him.
Like, obviously you kind of heard the rumors, like, they're kind of saying, like, there might be bigger fish, bigger than even Diddy, you know what I mean? And that he could be like, kind of like the fall guy for it. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I've heard that too. And Diddy might be kind of a square. He might just say, get the snitch, he's singing like a bird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said you ain't locking him up. He's too much of a ladies' man, I guess. Or, So that could be.
Yeah. Now, with this whole situation, do you put Diddy's music career in the same category as, like, how R. Kelly is, where people don't listen to his music? Even though I feel like me and Chris have talked about it, that I feel like we can separate the man from the music, even though some of the songs are still pretty crazy. But Are you that type of person where you would like stop listening to Diddy songs or stuff
I
like that?
mean, Diddy and R. Kelly, when it comes to music wise, of Diddy's personal songs. Now, songs that Diddy's produced and things of that nature, some totally separate. But songs that by Diddy, well, I
Hmm.
can name on maybe how many hits that he has. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not that big of a catalog for me to say, well, I'm a blackball Diddy. I'm not gonna listen to. So it's worked as his. No, I mean, I can separate the two. But in
Yeah.
the uproar of being a DJ, people would be like, probably would be like fake upset about it, enraged. You don't play Diddy, but he have his hands in so much music that he produced. Nah,
Mhm.
I wouldn't.
What about you, Chris?
No, I'm not gonna blackball the music. Like you said, we could separate the music. But am I surprised by all this stuff that's going on with Diddy? No, I'm not surprised. I mean, being somebody who's being into music, you've been hearing stuff about Diddy for years behind the scenes. Like he's been doing crazy stuff, and that lover love stuff, that's a facade. Diddy is a gangster. He will
Yeah.
stomp you out. As Steve Stout when he told him not to put out that "You Can Hate Me Now" video with Nas on the cross. He told him not to put it out. Steve Stout said, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway," and they went to his office and stomped his ass out for that
Hmm.
shit. So
Yeah.
I knew then that Diddy was about he was on the bullshit. So
Yeah.
just some of the stuff. Speaking of that documentary, I saw a clip on Twitter today when they had Diddy on all that, right?
Oh
mm,
yeah, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
And the
mm.
two kids trying to wake the boy up, and
Hmm.
they ask Diddy. They go over to Diddy and they're like, "Oh, we trying to wake him up, Mr. Diddy. How you can help us?" And he said, "Here, take this helicopter, put it down his pants." I was like, "Oh,
Oh
what you
wow,
doing, Diddy?
wow.
Not down his pants."
Crazy,
And then
crazy.
too, like it's fortunate as I would hope not, man. It makes you question like what really happened to his ex wife, Kim Porter. Like,
Well, the rumor was because now they're saying that there's foul play with that.
mm,
They're saying that there might be foul play with her death because they said in her book she was about to expose him. She was about to
see,
expose a lot of stuff on
see,
him. And before that book came, she died before that book came out. So
Hmm.
yeah,
they said that
I
there was a
don't know.
lot of stuff about to come out, but they said they're starting to find that it might be foul play, like she got poisoned.
And see, I think you made a good point, Chris. You said, being in the music industry, it's a lot of shady shit that goes on that you don't hear about it. And because they're such in the limelight, they're pushing out hits, they're performing.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really pay attention. We turn a blind eye to it because we're just so caught up in. I wouldn't be surprised if something came out about Usher being some quirky with some crazy stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. It's the industry. You know what I mean? They talk about the
Mm-hmm.
Illuminati and all of that. At some point, you have to sell your soul to this crap to be as successful as you are. And I wouldn't be surprised if whatever the allegations are true for Diddy.
Yeah. No, I'm very curious to just see how big the rabbit hole goes. Are the names going to be kind of leaked out? There's been a lot of leaks already. You know what I mean? You've already seen the raid videos. You've seen body cam footage of the arrest of the mule, the Syracuse basketball player.
Yeah.
What other leaks are going to be involved in this situation? You know what I mean? Are other names going to be leaked out? Other A-list celebrities, politicians, or whatever? Man, we know Diddy used to throw crazy parties. If you listen to certain people that have been a part of this, you've kind of been hearing the story, last couple years already as it is. So I'm just curious to see how further the rabbit hole goes and how much more stuff gets leaked out here in the next, I would say, couple weeks to a month.
Who's all gonna talk?
Yeah, that too. You know what I mean? The silence has been kind of crazy though. You know what I mean? It's just like obviously, we had that situation and just it doesn't seem like a lot of people have came out. You know what I mean? A lot of people that Diddy has known, like, there hasn't been one person that he's helped in a career wise or whatever, friendship or whatever, that has come out and supported him. Like that's been quiet. And I think that speaks volumes in its own. You know what I mean? So it just kind of to me it just shows like, it's obviously like look, if Homeland Security is gonna do a raid on all three of your houses, they have something.
Something.
They have something. They're not doing all this for nothing. This is costing the government a lot of money. This is costing Diddy a lot of money. You know what I mean? So, you know, This ain't just for show. This is reality, and I'm just curious to see how fast this goes, and if anything else gets leaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot to put this on the thing, but you have put this question: should or can your partner have friends of the opposite sex?
Mm.
Well, yeah, that kind of came about because Joy Taylor, she kind of said something on her new podcast where she's like, she doesn't trust a man if he can't have a monogamous relationship with a girl.
Heard
Like
that.
everything is like, if you can't have just like a regular friendship with a lady, then it's a problem for her. She puts that as a red flag. So that's why I kind of brought up the question.
Mm. I mean, you got to be able to check yourself out the door with your own insecurities when it comes to that. And you got to,
Mm,
you know what I mean? If you secure with what you bring to the table, you know what I mean? But we live in such a jealous world at this point, and no relationship, nobody's loyal anymore. That's just the bottom line. Social media makes it such free game for everybody to have a fucking field day at whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. You know what I mean? So but I think once you again check yourself with your own insecurities. I mean, why not?
What about you, Chris? What you think?
yeah, I agree. It's more of a security thing. Now, if you with a man or a woman who off jump tell you, "I don't trust you with another man, I don't trust you with another female," then you gotta know what you're getting yourself into too. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? They tell you from the jump that they're a jealous person and they don't trust you with the opposite sex, then you gotta you gotta know. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And if you can't get with that, then you need to find you somebody who's secure enough to be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I trust you. You know what I'm saying? And I trust that you ain't gonna do nothing, even if the other person tries to do something. I still trust you. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah,
trust you enough you come tell me, hey, I can't deal with that person no more. She tried to, fill up on me the other day and
yeah.
I pushed her off me. Or he tried to fill up on me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So
Nah,
that's just one of the things. That's a communication thing right there.
yeah, nah, for real. Like I agree with Miss Ballin D. Like we do live in like more of an infidelity type of like
Mhm.
society right now where people are just so more open to cheat. I think you start to see more open relationships and all that. Um, I think with this situation, I agree with Joy Taylor in the sense like if you can't have just a regular monogamous relationship, everything's not always sexual. Like I agree. If you can't do that, I think that's a little weird. I have, plenty of female friends that I don't look at them like that. We could just dap it up and keep it pushing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Hang out, keep pushing. There's no sexual tension, no nothing like that. But I do also believe that there has to be some boundaries though. If you do have a partner, like there has to be some respectability to that. Like you know what I mean? Like the hours that you call, the hours that you hang out. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like yeah, people are sensitive. People are a little bit more kind of like aware of like the potentials of people cheating and stuff like that. So just in the partner's sake, like just keep it respectful. I think there should be some boundaries to a degree, but at the same time, you should be able to have friends of the opposite sex or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Hmm.
What's y'all take on the G League shutting down, saying it's a wrap for the G League after this season?
The entire G League?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I kind of understand it because I feel like the G League was kind of like a place for players to be able to make money soon, to be able to still be able to develop and have like kind of like a program that they could still be able to develop and become a player while getting paid. Obviously, with college and the new NIL deals, obviously that won't be you won't get the same kind of top tier players that you would get because those players are going to get paid so much money now. As you said, Angel Reese is worth what almost like $3-4 million at this point with all her NIL deals. That's not including like with Caleb Williams and even the Kalen Clarks and all that. Like they're getting paid. So it sucks, but at the same time, I'm not surprised by it because
Yeah.
you kind of just saw like there it's no longer it's no
Change
longer
is yeah. No
yeah,
needed no more. Yeah.
yeah, not for real.
Yeah, I agree. It's not G League's really kind of like the other league is like to the wayside. Like, you don't see it being promoted on TV like that or anything. Like, they ain't even on ESPN two. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't got no games on there or nothing. So
Mhm.
I'm not surprised. So, like Mom said, with all the NIL deals, these kids are staying in school, man, to
Yeah.
get this money. You know what I'm saying? And when they feel like they can go to the league, get bigger money, then they'll go to the league if they're that special. But other than that, yeah, they gonna stay in college, man. Get this 4-5 real quick. So
Yeah, yeah. So it's not. My correction. It's not the whole entire G League. It's just the G League Ignite, the
Oh,
development.
G League Ignite, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
Not to
it just
mention they only won like 2 games the entire season anyway.
nah, yeah. I think that team was mainly made for players
Development.
that
Yeah.
were just kind of like indecisive whether they wanted to go to college, but they still want to make some bread. So, I said it sucks. I didn't get a chance to go to any of those games, but we had the Wemby game out here when I think he first played overseas. So that was kind of like the big moment for that team. But and then we had Scoot Henderson, which unfortunately Scoot Henderson has looked terrible this year, but you know it is what it is at this point. I got a question for you, Miss Ballin D. What are your thoughts on AAU basketball?
Man, AAU over the years is taking a whole turn, man. It's
Hmm.
so my nephew is he's deep into the AAU scene. So I've seen over the years how it's turned into a business, and it's unfortunate because the kids AAU, we think of it, as kind of the all-star time for you. You know what I mean? You go these teams, no one's really playing a whole lot of defense. You get caught up in these rankings of, this player, that player. I just think that the parents have changed the whole landscape of AAU and kind of taken the fun out of what it used to be. I mean, Las Vegas used to be the mecca of AAU basketball. Now it's just such a big business aspect of it. These players think that they own these coaches think they own these players, and you want to control who you can play for. And I just think the landscape of whole AAU has changed. To get a bad eye over the last, at least over the last 3 years for sure.
Yeah, like I know there's been a lot of conversation about the development of U.S. basketball players compared to like international style basketball players. Do you think AAU kind of hinders kind of the development of American born players? Like, what do you think is the problem with the reasons why international players are able to adapt, especially in the NBA? Like, like you see from like Luca, you see from Shea, you see from Nikola Jokic. Like, these are some of the best players in the league. But yeah, we still have some American born players that are pretty good, but not to that level. Like, what do you think is the cause of that?
I just think the way the game for development wise, the way that the game has changed. With the 3 point line, if everybody wants to be a 3 point shooter, just the thing of how the narrative of the game has changed since the Steph Currys and things of that nature. You don't have to be developed. At this point, you can. Everybody thinks that they a 3 point shooter. You have these bigs who the positions of players just change over time. It used to be a thing. You 7 foot, you play down low. Now that's changed. You have 7 footers, some that are guards, some bring the ball up, some are, I just think the whole landscape of the game as a whole doesn't require you as much to actually develop the way it used to be. When I was playing, the AAU was a time where you develop over the summer. This is where you put your skills in. This is where you play some of the best competition. I just think the landscape of how the game has changed now. It's not at the forefront. You don't have to on American side, stateside. You don't have to have it anymore.
Hmm.
Versus on the international side, they don't have those same opportunities that we have for that. So
Hmm.
that's all they know to be stronger. To be, you know what I mean. So it's
Yeah.
just a different landscape of it.
Now let me ask one more question about AU. I know there's been some kind of like kind of outcry about the how many games AU players play in a day. Sometimes they can play
Mm.
as many as 3 to 4 games a day. Do you think there's a resolution to that? Obviously, we've seen I think injuries from American style players, go up. I think the uptick is a little bit higher. Obviously, with the whole I have my own kind of ideals about resting players in the NBA and stuff like that, but do you think there is a resolution to? Do you think number one? Do you think AAU players should play that many games? And then number two, if not, what do you think could be the resolution? Do you think they need to change the system as far as like AAU, the tournaments, style of tournaments and stuff like that?
Well, from a parent standpoint, hell yeah, they need to play all those games. You charging me freaking $75 for one game a day is absurd.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I mean, these kids are young, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, they're just in their growing ability. And sometimes the 3 games, that can be a little bit, much as far as, like you said, the wear and tear on the body.
Mm-hmm.
But one or 2 games a day, I think is okay. But these kids, they're young. You know what I mean? There's so many teams that are being brought into these AAU tournaments. You have to, in order to get them all through, you have to have those at least 2 games, 2 games a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when I think it's good. You know what I mean? The kids just they want reps anyway. They want to play. They want to be in. When you have these live periods and things of that nature, that's what you want to do. So when you get into the 3 or 4 games a game, I think that can be a little bit much, and you're getting to be injury prone. But 1 or 2 at the max, I think that's cool.
Okay, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
How do you feel AAU basketball has affected high school basketball?
Oh, 2 different styles of play though. The AAU, because like I said, it's come to become a big business now. You have the circuit, you have the EYBL circuit, you got the Puma circuit, you got the Under Armour circuit. Everybody's trying to get sponsorship dollars from it versus the high school landscape of it. You know what I mean? You have these kids from December to March, whatever. You have these coaches that it's just a different passion from it. It makes it harder for the high school coaches now, if to say the least. Trying to make players structured, trying to have structure where now these kids they don't trying to set plays and trying to develop a player from a high school standpoint. The high school coaches they don't have any weight in regards to that. So like I said, when it comes to the AAU, it's all kind of free range. So from that standpoint, it's difficult for a coach, in my opinion.
Is there anything you would change that AAU does?
As far as AAU?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's gotten so, I'm not going to say out of hand. It's just you've got the wrong people. You have too many bad apples, in my opinion, at this point.
Mm-hmm. And what's your thoughts on NIL in college? Like, what's your whole thoughts on that?
Man, it's overdue, in my opinion. I've had several people on my podcast that I interviewed who are saying like, "Damn, I wish I was getting paid." You know what I mean? I think it's overdue in regards to them to be playing. And I mean, these universities, these programs, these schools, they make so much money off of these players with these boosters and things of that nature. I was just having a conversation with my brother today about DJ Thomas and UNLV, whether he was going to stay, and he was saying he's getting too much money here, locally with the Fertitas. They ain't gonna let him leave. The Finley Toyotas, the sponsorship. They're getting so much money. I mean, why not? You know what I mean? I think it's overdue, and I think it's great for the student athletes. It shouldn't have taken the O'Bannon brother to bring the highlights or the attention of it to say like where's all this money going at the end of the day? They you know what I mean? Why not?
Do you think there have been some people talking about maybe doing like kind of like a salary cap system with colleges as far as like dictating how much money players get and stuff like that to kind of like keep control of it? What's your thoughts on that?
Nah, why? Because you study getting that money in. If you want to put my face over everything, you want to put my face on every billboard, and you want to pay me. You know what I mean? Don't cap it.
Yeah.
Don't cap it. Nah,
I feel you. I definitely agree. I agree 100%.
That's not how much money these coaches are making. They making hand over fist too. So let's not
the
do
losing
this.
coaches at that. We just talked about it. John Calipari with Kentucky. Like you have back-to-back losing seasons. You're getting ditched out of the first round where you get the top recruits year after year after year. You're losing. You get dumped out of the first round, and you still getting thousands of dollars of renewed of a contract, and you want to cap these? Nah, you got to make that make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you. Who's your NBA finals? Well, who you got making the NBA finals, and who you got winning?
Ooh. Oh man. Who do I like to see my Lakers pull it out just because that's my, what I mean?
Oh, you a Laker fan too? Oh, all right.
I'm a Laker fan. They got a long way to go, man. They just got to get.
They
still fighting for that spot, let alone.
Gotta get Vando back.
I like Boston, man. I think Boston coming up out of the East. I think the way that they gel towards the end of the season, I think you know what I mean. It's gonna be hard to beat them down the stretch.
Mm-hmm. So you got them winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
Boston winning. Who
Man, that's
y'all
it.
like? Who y'all continue to
Uh,
pick right now?
I ain't gonna lie.
I got Denver.
I
Nuggets.
look. I don't think the Knicks are gonna win the whole thing, but
Mm.
I love that team, and I think they're gonna give the Celtics hell if they're getting Mitchell Robinson back, they're getting Julius Randle back. If they can just stay healthy and Tibbs don't run them to the ground, like just get them healthy, like you know what I mean. I think the Knicks gonna be scary, and I think they could surprise. As far as winning the whole thing, I'm gonna go with the Nuggets because I just haven't seen anybody have a game plan to stop Jokic. Like
Mm.
it's there's just no game plan for that. Now, if one of the players goes down, like if Jamal Murray goes down, Michael Porter Jr. goes down, then hey, I like the way the Mavericks are playing. I like that dynamic between Luka and Kyrie. My Lakers, if we can find a way to get out the play-in tournament,
Yeah,
whether
we
we're
got
in
to
it or
get
not,
in.
got to get in first. We've been playing really good. Hopefully, we can get Gabe Vincent back and Vando back. If we can get those guys back, I think with Vando, he's the key to our defense. He's the guy that guards the perimeter. He causes havoc. We saw that when he was guarding John Morant last year before he got hurt. Like he causes a lot of disruption. So if we can get them back, I think we have a good shot as well. I agree. I saw the situation with Nick Wright talking about just getting the Nuggets in the first round and just getting it over with. It makes sense to me because as we get the most time off in between games, you get like 2-3 days in between games in the first round, so it's a little bit longer. I think the first round goes about like 2 weeks, so it just makes sense. If you gotta go through the Nuggets, might as well get through them first and just get it out the way before they get their rhythm. So I'm always gonna have hope for my Lakers though.
Man, the way they played last night on that comeback, I mean, if they keep playing like that, even without a LeBron James,
Yeah,
they on the
AD
right path. They on the right
AD
path.
AD needs to be defensive player of the year. Like it's not even close. I get our defense hasn't as a team hasn't been really great, but we've been getting better. But individually, name a better defensive player right now in the league. They
Yeah,
ain't even
yeah.
close. It's AD.
I'm just glad that he's playing the amount of minutes that you know what I mean. He's been playing.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about that. He's played in 96 of the last 100 games. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
like that makes me happy all along.
Oh yeah,
He's
for
like
sure.
fifth in NBA minutes because we know he can't wait to take a you know what I mean, get hurt and be
Yeah.
disappear.
Nah, I agree. Like even he has gotten some nicks and bruises. Like he has gotten some injuries, but he's played through it. You know what I mean? That was the
Yeah,
one thing with AD. He never did that. So I'm really proud of him. For what he's been able to accomplish this year, and
yeah.
hopefully him and Braun can just stay healthy. Austin Reeves has been playing amazing. D'Lo has been playing amazing. Spencer Dinwiddie has been playing a little bit better. I'm still not a fan of Torian Prince. I don't know why he still plays him like that, but it is what it is. So. Hey, well, I got another question. What do you think? What do you think the Lakers should do next year? Do you think the Lakers should give Braun the big contract? You think they should try to, figure out if they can do like a team friendly deal? What do you think they should do?
I'm Team Bron. I'm probably a little biased. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I'm Team Bron all day because I mean, the way Bron is still playing at the age that he's still playing, I mean, everyone say, "Oh, he's not gonna keep playing like this." He gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Bron is still at the highest peak of his playing abilities. I mean, from like I said, I'm probably a little biased with it. I
Mm-hmm.
would, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, from a business standpoint. A lot of people probably disagree with that, but
Yeah.
like I said, because I'm a little biased with, I'm also a Bron fan. So,
Okay.
I want to see him stay in LA, of course.
I got you. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think if they could find a way to get a better deal,
Yeah,
I hope they do that. But I think they're going to give him the most amount of money they can give him. That's just what the Lakers do. They always do that with their stars. They always show them love, even if the age doesn't say they should get that money. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
for
sir.
sure. All right, Miss Ballin D. We appreciate you coming on the
Oh yeah, I
show.
appreciate y'all for having me. We gotta reverse it up. Y'all gotta drum me on one of my shows now.
Well, most
Yeah, we with
definitely
it.
will. We're gonna get
100%.
we're
We
gonna get
with
on
it.
there for sure.
Absolutely.
Go on, tell the people again where they can find you, listen to you, and all that good stuff.
For sure, for sure. You can catch me each and every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. No place all sports talk. You can follow us on socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. No place all sports talk.
All right, Miss Ballin D. Once again, we appreciate you and have a great night.
All right,
Appreciate
you
you.
too. Blessings.
All right, brother.
All
It's
right,
a great show as
it
usual.
was.
It would make it even better if you had you some glitch energy.
Glitch Energy. Shout out to Glitch. They've been riding with the podcast for a minute. Glitch Energy drink offers a wide range of delicious flavors to suit everyone's taste preferences. Whether you're into fruity flavors like Maui Punch, Cherry Bomb, Blue Smurf, and grenades, there's something for everyone. Glitch Energy drink is not only great for gamers and workout warriors, but also for everyday people who simply need a boost of energy. It's a healthy choice that you can feel good about. You can find more information and purchase Glitch Energy drink at glitchenergy.com. Again, that's glitchenergy.com. Remember to use the promo code Chris Style and Mall to get 10% off and purchase off your purchase and start enjoying these, great delicious drinks, man. So shout out to Glitch, man, for the support.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast on, the Chris Mall podcast is available, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, uh, Stitcher, Breaker, iHeartRadio, whatever you listen to your podcast on. Chris Mall podcast is available on there. Also, if you're a first time watcher on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. So when we
Mhm.
go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays 9ish Pacific Standard
Yeah.
Time, uh, you can join in with us, join into the comment section, talk about some of the topics that we talk about, because we want you guys to be a part of this pod as just as much as we are.
Mhm.
So yeah, go ahead and do that, subscribe to the channel.
Please.
And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use to do your social media business on, follow us at Crystal and Mall. We will follow you back. We're just some regular guys. We like to talk about sports, music, entertainment, life.
Mhm.
So go ahead and just follow us, hit us up, give us feedback. You know what I'm saying? Give us topics, questions. You want us to bring up something on the show, hit us up. We like the topic or the question, we will bring it up and we will shout you out on the show for
Mhm.
giving us said question. Because,
Mhm.
like we said before, we want y'all to be a part of this experience with us. So, we
Yeah.
want this show to be y'all show just as much as it is our show. You know what I'm
100
saying?
for sure.
So, we're just trying to give y'all the best content that we can give y'all on this pod. So, all right, everybody. Until next week, we gone.